Good information coming in his ear, too, from Darian Grubb. And I'm sure Darian's telling him right now, don't worry about that 56. We're not racing him at all. Just watch the cars behind. And he's giving him the gap.
You're positive he can't make it. They're talking about debris, trying to get a caution, but
Darian Grubb giving that good information.
Yep.
So Tony trying to decide how hard he's going to press on this 56 car when he catches him, Vince.
Well, that's exactly right, because as you heard Tony say, are you sure this isn't for position if this 56 gets around me? But Darian has been updating him on the two cars running third and fourth, and that's Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson, as if the 56 cannot make it, and they're sure of it. He just reminded Tony again, the 56 did not pit the last time. He can't go further than us.
Now you get into that situation also where strategy is affected by who's in the championship and who's not. 56 car goes to the point, 16 laps to go. Not in the championship, long time since they've won. They'll do anything to get a win if the fuel runs out.
Yeah, it's going to run out way before the end of the race, though. And he just, like I said, Tony Stewart did the right thing. Just let him go. You're not racing him at all.
And for Tony Stewart, yeah, he'd like to win. It's been a long time since he's won, but they've got to get to the finish.
Oh, yeah, back to Stewart. Absolutely, yeah. He has to make sure that they make it to the end.
Long time. Tony Stewart has been a race winner consecutive years on the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series.
Yeah, 2 times he's won here, and both of those were his first win of the year. I'd love to have that today.
So you see that Stewart has really gotten quite a gap on Kenseth, Johnson, and Newman now.
Yeah, he's been about 2 to 3 tenths of a second.
car in front of you is going to pit this time.
Bob Jeffries, the spotter for Tony Stewart.
Yeah. But Tony is still running faster than the 17 and the 48, so just hope that he has, or maybe he's already thinking that he's saved enough and he's just trying to keep a nice pace in front of these guys. As you see Martin Truex peel off now to go to pit road.
So this stop is going to come with 14 laps to go. Tony Stewart goes back to the lead. And you hear he's pushing in that clutch down the straightaway. That engine's going quiet. Trying to hold his gap and make sure he's got enough fuel. Dave?
Martin Truex hits pit road, and Doug Newell is the fuel man. He will put enough fuel in to get him to the end. 2 right side tires as well. Like you said, it was worth the risk. These guys were looking for something to happen.
Well, Chad Johnson, he learned a little bit of a hard lesson today on how to judge how far other people can go. You really can't get a good hack on that when in the beginning of the race when people are making good, these pit stops for tires and short pitting.
Gap from the leader to Matt Kenseth. Doc?
A lot of concern about fuel for the 17 car of Kenseth. In fact, you may see the 48 go by very quickly because of this. Listen in.
Hey, man, let's start thinking about shutting her down, shutting her off and close it for a little bit and get us some more there.
They were 3 to 5 laps shy, and Jimmy Finnick doesn't want to run out of gas with 2 laps to go. That would be a killer in race 1 of the chase.
You want to win the race. You want to get the bonus points that go with winning. But the damage for running out of fuel and losing a dozen, 20 spots on the last lap is too great to risk.
I'm telling you, pressure on top of those pit boxes is immense right now.
Dale Jr., they believe that they can make it on the right-hand side. Update on Jimmy Johnson real quick on the left-hand side. The engine guys just came over and told Chad Knaus, that's a tongue twister, told him to go full throttle and then back off early into the corner. So they're working with their driver, telling him to get around this 17. Meanwhile, Dale Jr. on the right-hand side, after everything that could have possibly gone wrong last weekend went wrong, they're having quite a weekend. They brought a different platform setup. And Steve Letarte told me he didn't mind if his driver would be yelling because the car didn't handle very well, but it would be faster. Well, everything has worked out. He started today in 19th and running up in 7th right now. 6th, actually, Alan.
Steve Letarte said this week he loved it if it became a fuel mileage race because they've had a couple of chances to win under those circumstances this year. Wasn't it Charlotte in the 600?
Yeah.
Last corner of the race?
Well, they lost it, though.
They ran out.
That's the problem.
How about Harvick back in 4th, Doc?
They told him at the beginning of the run, you're 3.8 laps short. He said he's been saving fuel. He just now asked Gil Martin, how about it, Gil? Are we okay? And Gil said, I don't know, but just go for it, Kevin. Go for it. They turned him loose.
Yeah, the fact is you really don't know. I mean, you know when you're short by your calculations, but you don't know how much is in that car.
No, and it's hard to tell as a driver just how much you've done and what you've done. We talked about Jimmy Johnson there telling him they don't want him part throttling down the straightaway because that could mess up the engine and hurt the engine, so they don't want that scenario. They'd rather have him run out as to blow up.
So Harvick in the 29, by Kenseth in the 17 for third. Tony Stewart leading 2.3 seconds ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Kevin Harvick third, Matt Kenseth fourth, Ryan Newman fifth. Earnhardt Jr. in sixth is 6 seconds behind. There's the gap from first to second. 6 laps to go. Harvick for second on Johnson.
He's saved plenty.
Yeah, he's not saving any now. It's a gamble for him to go now.
And it puts pressure on Stewart.
Yeah, they were just about a half a tenth apart there is all that Harvick was able to beat Stewart the last time, so Tony's still running pretty fast.
5 laps to go, 5.
See right there, Tony Stewart just pushed the clutch in. Easing it out a little bit now. I tell you, it takes a lot of skill to do what he's doing and saving fuel and trying to run these lap times fast enough to win. Watch this. He doesn't do it going into 3. He clutched it going into 1.
Harvick beat him by about a half a second last lap. Tony's got a lot of traffic right in front of him. See how that affects what he's able to do.
There's Harvick.
I think Harvick's going to catch him. It's just going to be, does Harvick have enough fuel to make it to the end? And I think when he gets to Stewart, Stewart's going to quit all the nonsense of pushing the clutch in and run as hard as he can.
Yeah, they ran about the same lap time, only 0.03 of a second that last lap. I think one thing that's helping Tony Stewart, that car is driving so good, and when it drives like that, you can back off the throttle, let the car roll a lot more, and now obviously you're using less fuel like that. That's why he's not slowing down as much doing all of this.
3 laps to go. 1.7 seconds back to Kevin Harvick.
Tony still has enough lead to soft pedal to the end.
It was a year ago in New Hampshire. Tony Stewart led the first race of the championship. Ran out of gas while leading, coming to the white flag. He's coming to the white flag this time, leading with fuel mileage in play. 1.4 seconds back to Kevin Harvick, a lap and a half to go.
And that team never recovered from running out of fuel leading that race either. Really affected the rest of their chase. Does he have enough today?
Is somebody going to run out and lose a chunk of points? Will the lead change hands in the final lap, or can Stewart begin his championship with a breakthrough win?
Like
there are cars on the apron running out of fuel as Stewart takes the white flag. It was Kyle Busch, Andy referenced a second ago, on the apron out of fuel. Half a lap to go.
Now Gordon's out of fuel.
All clear, keep coming.
You'll see Gordon there. Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, all slowing out of gas. Tony Stewart, the fuel holds up. Tony Stewart opens the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup with his first win of the season. There are cars running out of gas everywhere around this racetrack. Matt Kenseth getting pushed by the 38 car. He doesn't want that on the last lap of this race.
Well, he got pushed all the way down the back straightaway and all the way through 3 and 4. And that is illegal on the last lap.
Officials will look at it. Look at the guys running out of gas. Jimmy Johnson was out. Kyle Busch was out.
Paul Menard's out.
Trevor Bayne is slow on the apron.
Good job, guys. Proud of you.
Allmendinger ran out of gas. Looks like Ryan Newman ran out of gas. Jeff Gordon ran out of gas. Look at them all. They got across the start-finish line and just hooked the left onto pit road because they're all out of gas. But that car had it all figured just right.
Wow, what a job Tony Stewart did right there in saving fuel, staying out front also.
Now, with all the cars running out of fuel on the last laps, and some other things that were going on, like Matt Kenseth getting that push, NASCAR says Kenseth will become the first car 1 lap down by getting that assistance on the last lap. And with all the people running out of fuel, right-hand column, look at where they finished. Jimmie Johnson went back to 10th, Kyle Busch to 23rd, Matt Kenseth to 21st. And that does include Matt Kenseth's penalty, by the way. And again, NASCAR will go back and review again the scoring to be sure with everybody running out on the last lap, but that's what we've got at this point, and we think that's going to be a pretty accurate picture as we head off to New Hampshire next Sunday.